Thanks for joining us. Those of you that have been here the last 6 weeks, thanks for tuning in again. What we're doing is we're doing this every Monday night where we just kind of hang out for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, do some golf instruction, talk about the game of golf, how we can get better, and so on and so forth. This week we have a Masters special, okay? So we're doing everything Masters. And before I get started, I want to encourage you guys to join our Masters pool here at SwingU this week. If you're a SwingU premium subscriber, which if you're watching this, you're most likely a premium subscriber, it's completely free. Now, the top 10 out of this pool, you will get a SwingU versus towel for free. Top 3 gets a dozen golf balls, and the winner wins a driver. So if you want a brand new driver, then just join our pool, okay? It's completely free if you're a premium subscriber. So definitely check that out. If you want to go to clubhouse.swingu.com, you'll find the pool there, or you can look in our newsletter. You can find some information there. And if you still can't find information about the pool, reach out to us and we'll send you a direct link. But again, join our Masters pool this week, completely free for you guys. You can win a brand new driver, some golf balls, a towel, and so on and so forth. Now let's talk about some of my favorites this week that you guys can pick in your pool. I love Jon Rahm. I love DeChambeau. I love Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth has a good chance of winning this week. I may or may not have put $100 on him to win. This was before he won last week. So if Jordan Spieth wins this week, your boy's going to be a little bit richer than I was before. So we're really pulling for Jordan Spieth to win. But yeah, once again, make sure you join our Masters pool, completely free. A lot of really cool prizes. So we're doing a SwingU Masters, little bit of we're doing a Masters preview show here. I got my Callaway Stafford bag. This is the bag that they'll be using this week. I'm giving this away on my Instagram account here. Got some pretty cool head covers. But let's talk about the Masters a little bit. Obviously, a beautiful course, but there's certain shots you have to hit around there if you want to win. I shouldn't say you have to hit, but it's better if you can hit these shots there. And that's really what sticks out to me is a draw for a right-hander or a fade for a left-handed golfer. Okay, it's been said that Augusta National is designed for left-handed golfers. Why is that? Well, to put it quite frankly, it's easier to hit a cut there. There's a lot of right to left holes on the course, a lot of dogleg left. So the shot shape really calls for a draw for a right-hander. So it's important to try to hit that shot there. So the fade is actually the easier shot to hit. So many golfers out there, they want to hit a draw because it's sexier. Maybe the ball goes a little bit further. But really, most tour players are playing a fade out there, okay? So, this golf course actually sets up better for someone who's a draw or a left-hander. How many left-handed golfers did we see win the Masters? In 2015, there was a stretch of 12 years where 6 of those 12 years, left-handed golfers won the Masters, so about half the time. We don't see that in any other major, ever. Show me that. It doesn't happen. That's why at the Masters it's so important at Augusta National to move your ball right to left. So left-handed golfers have a good chance. That's why Bubba Watson this week, don't count him out. Who knows? Maybe Phil Mickelson can get some magic going and win there as well. So they might be some good sleeper picks to win here. Now, there's one thing I should note. Last year's winner, Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson actually plays a fade. And for most of that tournament last year, he actually hit a fade, especially off the tee with a driver. He hit a fade almost every time. So you don't have to hit a draw there. So Dustin kind of got away with it. So what did he do to kind of get away with it? Number one, I think this is very important to say, is he utilized the tee box correctly. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? So many people don't do this. Go back and look on YouTube and watch Dustin Johnson's final round and look at where he teed off from with his drivers and fairway woods on par 4s and par 5s. He teed off from the right side of the tee marker, okay, as far right as he possibly could. Why is that? If I'm hitting a fade and I start on the right side of the tee box, I'm allowing my ball to start left and fade back, and I'm giving myself as much room as I possibly can, okay? Now, if I'm hitting a draw, I want to be on the left side of the tee box. Why is that? I can start my ball right and have it draw back. So it's important to understand that, to give yourself as much fairway as you possibly can when you're teeing off. Now, it's also important to say Dustin Johnson was recently interviewed, and he was asked, when's the last time you tried to hit a draw with your driver? And he said, never. So he hasn't tried to hit a draw with his driver really ever, he said. I'm sure that's not true, but at least in the last few years, he doesn't try to hit a draw. He doesn't try to change that up. And that's important because those of you out there that are always trying to work the ball either way. So dog leg right, they try to cut the ball. Dog leg left, they try to draw the ball. That's not the best thing we can do. The best thing we can do is find really one ball flight that works for us and work it almost every time. Now, obviously, those of you out there that are struggling with big slices, we got to do something about that, obviously. But ideally, you can play a little bit of a fade or a little bit of draw and try to use that every time. If I am playing a fade and I'm stepping up and it's a dog leg left, you better believe, like we just talked about, I'm going to the furthest right side of the tee box as I possibly can to start my ball a little bit left and fade it back to the right. So that's so important to understand that we can at least give ourselves the best chance as possible if we're going to work a cut on a dog leg left by setting up correctly. And it's important to understand that you guys don't have to try to draw or fade the ball every time depending on the hole, okay? Hit the shot that you know and just do as best as you possibly can there, because when you're trying to sometimes hit draws and sometimes hit fades, it can be ugly, okay? But so tonight's episode, we're going to concentrate on hitting a draw, okay? We're going to talk about hitting a draw here. For those of you people out there, those of you guys out there that struggle with hitting a big slice, tonight's going to be a really good episode for you. And those of you out there looking to kind of control the draw and hit it when necessary, because you have to understand that Dustin Johnson likes to hit a fade, but he can hit a draw if he wants to. You know, he's going to get behind a tree or behind somewhere that's going to make him hit a draw, and he can do it. So he knows what he has to do to set up and hit the draw properly. So let's talk about hitting a draw just here for a second. And what I want to talk about first is setup, okay? Because I want to, for somebody out there who plays a little bit of a fade, you don't have a way over the top swing, you're not hitting a big slice, and you want to try to hit a draw, you can do that just by adjusting your setup. So let's adjust setup first, and then let's talk about swing path and face angle. So what we're just going to do here is talk about the setup here. So if you're somebody who hits a fade, typically, okay, your ball's going to start left of the target and fade back, but hey, now you're behind a tree. Now you got to hit a draw. What do? Well, let's just talk about our setup here. What we're going to do is we're going to aim our body right of our target, okay? We're going to get our feet, our hips, and our shoulder right of our target line. So here's our target line here. I'm going to aim it out here where I kind of want this ball to start, okay? So I'm aiming my feet, my hips, and my shoulders where I want the ball to start, and I'm aiming my club face where I want the ball to finish. I want the ball to finish somewhere around this line here. I want it to start out here, okay? So this is just a simple setup change. Feet are going this way where we want it to start. My club face is going to go left where I want the ball to end. Okay, and what we're going to feel is we swing along our feet line, okay, and then we're going to turn the club face over and finish and hit our draw. So make sure that club face is aimed at your target, and then take your grip. I don't want you to have your grip here and then turn the club face, because guess what? That club is going to return back to open. Okay, so feet are right, hips are right, shoulders are right, club face is at the target. Okay, set it at the target, then take our grip. Now we can swing along our feet line out to right field. All right, so that's a beautiful, beautiful shot. It started right of our target line and drew left, just left of our target line there. Now it's a 7-iron. It's going to go a lot further. Saying 195 carry, 200 total distance there. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of these numbers right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see the numbers or not, but I'll kind of talk you through it. First is club path. So what path our club is traveling on. It's saying inside out, 5.3. So inside out means this club face right here, this head, is traveling from the inside, okay, inside of the golf ball on the way down, and travels out away from the ball on the way through. Now that's 5.3 to our target line. Our target line was in the middle of the screen, so our path is this way, in to out. So our path was aimed about out here when our target line was right in the middle. Now this is very interesting. Club face. Club face was 0.3 open. So it's actually fractionally open to our target line. Okay, because we want an open club face to our target line if we're going to hit a draw. If we have a club face that's close to our target line, it's going to be a big snap hook. Okay, but what's important is this club face is less than my path. So I have a 5.3 path. If I had a club face that was open 3.5, let's just say, the ball would still draw. It would actually start right and draw back. It wouldn't draw as much as I'd like it to, but the only way we start to see this ball be a push or a slice to the right with this path is that, one, my club face would be open 5.3. It would match my path, how open it was. That'd be a direct push, okay? Or if it was open more than 5.3. If it was, just say 6 open, it would be a push slice. Okay, it would start right and end even further right. So you have to understand what is it that's my issue that I can't draw the golf ball, okay? So it's really important to try to get in here on simulators or a TrackMan or something like that and take a look at your numbers, because your numbers can be so important. Because you could have a path that's inside out, but if your club face is open, you're going to be hitting pushes or slices. So you have to understand, what do I need to work on the most? Do I need to work on my path? Do I need to work on getting my path more into out? Or do I need to work on squaring my club face more? Okay, so that was just a quick little overview of setup. For those of you that don't really struggle with your path as much, you're not really struggling with your club face control, you have to understand, if you want to hit a nice draw, aim your body right at where your target is. Start your club at where your target is, or maybe just right at where your target is. Swing along your feet line with that slightly closed face, and you're going to hit a draw. All right, so we kind of talked about it. These clubs right here with the new Callaway Augusta National head covers. So the purple one will represent our club face. The pink one's going to represent our club path. So our club path, we want inside out, like this. So we want this club to be traveling along this grip and out towards the pink, right? And we want our face to be closed to that, so somewhere near our target line. So if I'm swinging this club here, the feeling I want is I set up, and let's grab a different club because the ferrule actually broke off that. It's kind of ugly. New club's coming soon. But we want our club to be lined up at the purple, and we want our club path to be going along the pink. Okay, so we're feeling it here and out towards the pink. Okay, that's a good visual of what we need from our club to get a draw. Okay, so I know you're saying, Josh, I know what we need. I know what I need to do to hit a draw. Now, some of you out there might not know what you need, so I think this is a good visual. Okay, you need a path that's in to out, and you need a club face that's close to your path, not necessarily close to your target line to hit a draw. But you might be saying, hey, Josh, I know I need to do this, but I can't do it. My swing path, I come way over the top. No matter what I try, I can't stop coming over the top and hitting a big cut, big pull, or a big slice. Let's talk about a couple drills here. This is a great drill that's very easy to work on. I'm going to put a ball out here that's going to represent our target line. And what we're going to do here, I got this drill from Nick Faldo, which some of you guys might not be the biggest fan of his commentary, but it is what it is. It's a great drill. So we sit here, and that ball out here in front of us is our target line. What we're going to do here is we're going to start with the club behind the ball, and we're going to go right to our finish. And the objective here is to get this ball right of that ball in front of us. So we're going to start here at our setup, and we're going to push this ball out to the right. Okay, what this is doing, it's ensuring that our club is going out on the way through. Because remember, we want this inside path to out. Okay, because I've seen some people come inside with the path on the downswing, but then they throw the club really left and low. Okay, and it's still going to result on a push, and you're not going to be able to draw the ball. So we want this ball to go out away from on the right side of the ball that's in front of us, and then we can go up to our finish. This is a drill you can do in your house. Set some pillows up, something in front of you. Just be careful. If you break something, I'm not liable. But put the club back here, push out. Okay, and as long as this ball is going right at the ball in front of us, we know that we have the desirable path. Okay, because what's happening here is that if I pull this ball this way, okay, that's going to hurt me as far as my path. That's going to suggest that I have this swing. All right, so you could do this many times as you'd like, but make sure that ball is going out to the right. All right, I think that's a great, great drill. Very simple, and it's a drill you can use at home because you're not hitting full shots with that. So hopefully that makes sense to you, okay? Because, again, we want a path that's in, and that's our club head that's in to out. All right, and I think that's a great start here. Now, you have to understand this. You can have a hand path that's in to out. Okay, your hand path could be in to out, but you can have a club face path that's not. What do I mean? I've seen so many of my students that do this. They goes, Josh, I'm slicing the golf ball. I'm coming over the top. That's what they tell me. I take a look at their swing. They swing up like this, and their hands drop down and into the slot like this. And I'm looking at their hand path. I'm like, you don't come over the top. You have a perfect hand path. What do? Well, what they're doing is they dumped the club. So their hands are on a good path, but they're starting to dump the club early. Okay, like this. So if I can have a hand path that's really in, but if I throw my club like this around my body, guess what? My club path is now out to in. Okay? Watch this. I can have my hands in here and then throw my club around. Okay? By flicking my wrist and throwing it. And watch my path. Outside in, 21. Obviously, I was exaggerating there. But what happened? My hands were in, but my head path started outside of the ball. You could take a video of your swing from down the line and take a look. Try to do it in slow motion. Take a look at where your club head is about a foot away from the golf ball. About a foot away from the ball, your club head should be just on the inside of the ball. All right? If your club head outside of the ball on the way in, that means your head path is going out to in. So take a look. Try to get it in slow motion about a foot before the ball. Because this is going to tell me, even with the hand path that's in, if I start doing this and a foot before the ball, my club head gets out to the right of the ball, guess what? We have a path that's out to in. Okay? We have a club path that's out to in. So why do people throw the club face at the ball or flick their wrist this way or cast? Okay, most of the time it's because of an open club face. Okay, I see this so much time where they have a wide open face here. Okay, golfers have a wide open face here, and they know they have to do something to square this face, or else they're in trouble. So they know they have to try to do this. Okay, if I have an open face, I can have a completely open face here. But if I do this, actually my face is closed. That's why on these shots here, when I'm throwing it, they're actually going way left because that's closing the face. But that's not how we want to close the face when we're hitting shots, okay? There's different ways that we can control the club face, and let's talk about that first. Let's talk about controlling the club face, and then we'll talk about path because I think they're kind of related. So what are the two things that control the club face? One is grip, and the other is wrist angles, okay? If we take my left wrist here and I add flexion, like DJ, okay, DJ at the top, flexion here with the left wrist, what happens to the club face? Closes. Now, if I add extension with my left wrist, where it's like cupping this way, reverse DJ, okay, if I add extension there, what happens to the face? It opens, okay? If I grip the club weak and I return my hands back to normal, the club face opens. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Us as people, as we hang our arms kind of naturally hang on a 45-degree angle. Okay, so they're naturally hanging like this. So we want to grip the club on about a 45-degree angle with our hands. Okay, so you may have heard of a weak or strong grip. A weak grip would be one where my left hand is I'm seeing more of my thumb. I'm not seeing any of my knuckles over here. Okay, that's going to lead to more of an open face because as I grip the club weak here, like this, and I return my hands back to that 45, that natural stand 45. I don't know if you guys can see that club face, but if I could just naturally hang my arms, it's going to open the face. So with a weak grip, when my hands return to natural, with that natural feel, open club face. Okay, strong grip is going to be one where I see more of my logo on my left hand as a right-handed golfer, more knuckles here. Okay, I grab this, grab the club really strong, and then I return my hands to natural 45 arm hang. What happens to the club face? Hard to see on camera. I know, I apologize for that, but it's completely closed. Okay, so we talked about grip and your wrist angles controlling the club face. So it's really important to make sure you have a grip that's not weak, all right? So a good grip, a good neutral grip for me is one where you can see 2 knuckles here, maybe 2.5 knuckles, and this V that's formed, okay? You see this V that's formed here, right here? It kind of points. And what we want that for right-handed golfers, we want that V to point at our right ear. If we can get that V pointing at our right ear, that's a good neutral grip. Now, some golfers can play with a weaker grip. Some play with a stronger grip, so it's all about matchups. But a good starting point, couple knuckles here, 2 knuckles, and that V at your right ear. If you want to go a little bit stronger, a little bit weaker, it's going to depend on your matchups, what you do with your rotation. But I'm just here to talk to you about a neutral grip. The right hand grip, same thing. It forms a V, okay? That V should also point your right ear. So the right hand, the weak and strong, is going to be opposite. With my right hand, the more knuckles I see, the weaker the grip. Now, the more palm I see, the stronger a grip, okay? The same thing happens, just opposite with our hands hanging at 45s. But we want that V right ear. Okay, that's a good starting point. Now let's talk about our wrist angles. We talked about flexion with the left wrist, closing the club face, extension, opposite of DJ, opening the face, okay? So what we see a lot with players that are struggling with the open club face, because this is what we're talking about, people that dump the club because it's open. What do we want to see? A more closed club face, okay? So on your backswing, when you get that club parallel to the ground, what I like to see is the leading edge of the club matches our spine angle. So it's a little more closed at the ground. And as we come through on our downswing, same thing. We want the leading edge matching our spine angle here so that we have a little more of a closed club face. That's going to lead to better rotation and better finishes and positions at impact. All right, so what we don't want to see is that extension with the left hand where we start going this way. We want to see more DJ. We see John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, and DJ all have more of a bowed wrist here. We're seeing this more and more on PGA Tour. I've seen this so much, okay? So I'd rather see my players in this position than this. Okay, this is going to close the face. This is going to open it up. And a good kind of checkpoint on the way back, at the top of your swing, the toe of your club should be pointing at the ball or more so face at the sky. That's be a little more of a closed club face. You start to see that toe pointing down at the ground at the top of your swing, it's too open. So we want to feel there's a nice straight line up our arm and up our wrist here so that we know we're not, extending the club with our left wrist and getting that toe down. Watch what I do when I sit here and bow it. You're going to see that face more at the sky, okay? So a great drill there is to take a pencil or a spoon if you're at home or anything, or it could be a tee, whatever it is, and slide that pencil in your glove like this, all right? So what we want to feel here is this pencil does not let me extend my left wrist. If I extend that left wrist, okay, this pencil is going to drive into my arm. What it's making me do is have more of a flat wrist or more of a bowed wrist to keep that pencil or that spoon, whatever it may be, away from the forearm. Okay, so take the club, grip the club here with the pencil, all right? Start to bring the club back. As you bring the club back, keep that pencil away from the arm, keep the pencil away from the arm, and as we drive down, we're keeping the pencil away from the arm again. Okay, the pencil's pointing out away from us. Now look at my club face, matching my spine angle. All right, as I drive down and through, this is going to help us control the club face. So another good feeling you can have if you're someone who struggles with that club face being open is that the logo of your glove at the top of your swing is pointing at the sky, and the logo at your glove at the bottom is pointing more towards the ground or at your target. So it's pointing more down. So this way at the top, this way at the bottom. Now for our right hand, we want to feel like we're kind of holding a plate at the top of our swing with our right hand. Okay, so we can take something like this and practice at the top, kind of holding it there without it falling. Bring it back down. We can even put this on the club. Bring it back. Hold the plate. Hold the plate. Okay. Then the left hand, logo at the sky. Right hand's holding a plate. Okay, that's going to put you in a way better position. All right. So we talked about controlling your club face. Make sure you don't have a weak grip. Make sure your wrist angles are correct. More of a straight arm or just a little slight bow. Now let's talk about path. Okay, we did this drill where we pushed the ball out to the right for our path on the downswing and follow through. Okay, what's some other drills that we can do? I mean, this is a classic drill. You guys probably have all seen this. We'll put these Masters Inspired head covers on the ground. Okay, we're going to put one just right of the golf ball, about a foot back, and we're going to put one just left of the golf ball and a foot back. And something I also like to do here is draw a line out to the right with my golf balls here. So we're going to line up to this middle one here and clear this board. We're going to line up here and we're going to feel like the head of this club traces this ball and then out towards that ball on the way through. Okay? And we're missing these head covers. If we're coming over the top or we're dumping the club, we're going to hit these head covers. And we're going to feel like, for those of you that come way over the top with your hands, that your hands are dropping back behind you, okay? If you feel like your hands are behind you for longer, maybe they're dropping more straight down for those of you who come over the top. And we need to make sure that not only do we have the right hand path, but we're not flipping our wrist and dumping the club. Okay, so we're feeling like this club traces this way and out. Okay? All right, it's going to just going to lead to a draw. Now, for some of you out there, you might need to try this drill for hours and hours, hundreds, thousands of golf balls, because you're used to swinging over the top. Okay, you're used to coming out to in. And, you know, I always say, when you're working on, fixing an issue, you need to exaggerate it, okay? When you're trying to fix a spring, if a spring is bent, you're not going to bend it to straight because it's going to bend back again. You're going to bend it the opposite way, and then it's going to hopefully be straight. So when we're working on this path, I really want you to exaggerate in to out. Okay, get it as much in to out as you possibly can. Just keep working on dropping the hands down, tracing the club head along the golf ball, swinging in to out. Okay, again, I mean, this is not going to be something that you work on 3 or 4 tries, and then you get back out there and think it's going to be better. All right. So the path is obviously a big one for a lot of you out there, and I think controlling the club face more, getting those checkpoints to where halfway back it matches your spine angle, and halfway down your leading edge again is on this angle, matching your spine angle. From there, we can deliver the club from the inside, okay? We can follow, extend out towards our target. So the 3 things I want you to work on as far as drills are, number 1, the push drill out to the right. Number 2, this drill here where you're swinging in to out. Okay, you're getting this club head to be in close as you can to your body on the way in, down, and out away from your body on the way through. Okay, so those 2 drills, and then the pencil in the glove or the spoon in the glove to make sure you're working on that, holding the plate with your right hand, okay? I think those are very, 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 very helpful. Now we talked about setup here. Let's talk about the driver for a second here, okay? The big dog. Everyone wants to talk about hitting the driver well, and we talked about DJ not hitting a fade with the driver for the last couple of months or a couple of years, or he actually said ever. He's never done it. So if you do hit a fade, if you can hit a controlled fade, and the dog leg left pops up, just hit your fade. All right, start from the right side of the tee box, hit your fade out there, and hope for the best. But if you want to hit a draw with a driver, there's a few things to understand. I mean, it's so important. We kind of talked about it before, how it's very important to obviously swing more in to out. With the driver, it gets even harder to control the club face because it's longer, it's further away from our body. So we have to do more to try to control the club face. So for a lot of you out there, you really have to exaggerate, that wrist angle is at the top, okay? We have to really feel like at the top, that logo is at the sky, and at the bottom, that logo is at our target, okay? Another thing to understand is we don't want to be hitting the driver off the heel. If we're hitting it off the heel, what's going to happen is gear effect's going to take over. If we hit it off the heel, the toe of the club will close over, and you're going to be hitting it. It's going to create side spin of it. So when we hit it here, the toe closes over, and cut spin will actually be added to the golf ball. So what I want you guys to make sure you're doing is when you're setting up to your drive, make sure you're hovering the driver off the ground. Okay, hover the driver off the ground and align it to your sweet spot, because as I lift this club off the ground, it actually gets further away from my body. Okay, so if this ball is teed up 3 inches and I place my club on the ground behind it, as I raise it up to hit it, it's actually aligned off the heel. So that's huge. We talked about that in the driver lesson, but that's important to understand. So make sure you're hovering the club off the ground to where you can get it in the sweet spot. The next tip I will give with the driver is make sure you're teeing it higher. Whenever you're trying to hit a draw, I like to tee my golf ball as high as I possibly can. Why is that? The higher the ball, the more shallow I get, the more from the inside out I have to hit it. The lower the golf ball is, the more I want to get steep on it and hit down on it more. Okay, so tee this golf ball as high as you possibly can if you're trying to hit the driver. Now I can hit up. So I'm a trick shot artist. So I do a lot of shots where I throw the ball up in the air and I actually hit the ball out of the air. And it's actually a great drill to help me get a little more shallow. So the higher this golf ball can be teed, the better off we are. So if I'm trying to hit a draw here with the driver, what am I doing? Same thing as we did with the irons. We're aiming our feet, our hips, our shoulders to the right. Our club is going to be aimed a little more at our target. Okay, my ball's teed up high, making sure the ball position off the inside of the lead heel. And what are we doing? We're swinging from the inside. Okay, so that head is back behind us for longer. And we're swinging up, hitting it, and out towards our target. Okay, so that's how to do it. Let's see if we can do one. All right, well, that was definitely a draw, but more of a hook. So that finished quite a bit left of our target, but we were really exaggerating there. We were in to out path, and we were closed 3.5. We kind of talked about that, how we want our club face to actually be a little more open to our target line, but close to our club face. If the club face is actually closed, it's going to be more of a hook. Okay, so we actually want our club face to be open of this target line, okay, but close to our path. So let's hit one more here. So we kind of talked about that before, where we want our club face to aim more so where it's ending, but especially with the driver, we still need to have our club face right of this target line, just left of our path. So let's hit one more here. Okay, we got our stance is a little closed out to the right, hips, shoulders, teeing the golf ball up nice and high. Let's hit one. All right, that's better. So I just started a little bit right, still drew a little more than I wanted to, but that's okay. In here, it's not 100% accurate, but we'll take it. Still went 305. It's another thing, the golf ball will travel absolutely further when you're hitting a draw. That club face was a little more squared, basically 0.1, pretty much dead square there. In to out, pretty drastic, 10 degrees. Okay, that's going to create a big draw. So there it is, guys. Talking for 35 minutes. We're going to open it up for a Q&A now. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, comment them below, and I'm going to have Chris drop them in here. Okay, and we're going to answer as many as we possibly can. I hope you guys really dig this master special here. Reminder here, make sure you're joining and entering our master's pool. It's free for our premium subscribers like you guys are. Okay, the top 10 gets a SwingU versus towel. Top 3 gets a dozen golf balls, and the number 1 place, first place, gets a brand new driver. And I suggest the Callaway Epic Speed. This thing is so sick. Okay, somebody wrote. Oh, I did not mean to flip that around. Somebody said, would this fix my loss of distance with my irons? I'm not 100% sure, but really the reason why I see most people lose distance with their iron is, number 1, lack of center contact. Number 2, adding loft to the club. Okay, every tour player, every good player, de-lofts the club. So the dynamic loft, the loft at impact, is less than when it started. Okay, compressing the golf ball. So yes, if you're swinging a little more in to out with a little more of a closed face and you're hitting a draw, you're going to hit the ball further. But the big thing I want to see is de-lofting the club, getting those hands forward. And that club has less loft than when it started. Okay, so yes, it should help that loss of distance. I'm getting too much hook. What can I do to prevent that? Well, take a look, figure out what it is. Because you saw those last 2 drives there was a lot of hook. That first one, I had a 3.5 closed club face with a really in to out. So to change that, I need more of an open face, and I need less in to out. Okay, so if you're somebody who does have too much of an in to out path, you need to feel like your hands are going out this way away from your body. Also, that drill that we said where we want to start here and push the ball out to the right, you want to feel like you're pushing the ball out to the left more. So you're feeling like your hands are coming out and around your body more this way. Take a look at your grip too. Maybe you have too strong of a grip. So basically the opposite of what we talked about to fix those hooks. Yeah, that next question, do you recommend flipping these drills to work on a cut? Yes, the exact opposite here would be working on the cut. So wherever those club heads were, those head covers were, flip them. Okay, we're talking about the wrist angles. Maybe you're having too much bow. Maybe you are closing the face too much. So yeah, just switch them around to hit a cut. There's no secret behind that at all. That absolutely works. All right, talk about the club path on the takeaway to hit a draw. So club path on the takeaway, I mean, yeah, the takeaway is important, but it's not. It really doesn't matter. Okay, there are spots where we can get ourselves, and it will help us hit a draw. So for instance, if I have a takeaway that's too much from the inside, that can cause a looping effect. All right, so if I have a takeaway that's too much from the inside, my hands naturally want to do this motion. So yeah, you could feel like your hands are going a little more out on the way back, and that will help you drop it more in. So you could do that ball push drill. Okay, get a ball behind you and push the ball out away from you on the way back. Because yes, if you do have it too much from the inside, it can cause a loop. But backswing isn't everything, but that can help for sure. Is there a drill to recommend in transition, somebody asked, to help prevent an over the top or a chop? I mean, the drills we kind of talked about, some of them will absolutely work here, but a mini pump drill is huge. I love this drill. This is one of my favorites. Surprised I didn't talk about it tonight, and I think because I forgot. So basically what it is just go to the top of your swing and feel like the hands drop and come from the inside and stop. So it's pump, pump, like this. So little ones, 3 or 4 or 5 in a row, and then extend. So we're here, drop, drop. That head stays back behind you. Hands drop more straight down, and they're feeling like they're actually dropping behind your body. Obviously, they're not. But for people that slice over the top, it comes back to exaggeration. If you are someone who does this, exaggerate this, okay? But you can feel that pump. 1, 2, 3, fire. I think the mini pump drill is huge, really huge. Could you go over what a weak, neutral, and strong grip is? You must have missed that segment because I kind of spent a lot of time on that. The weak, neutral, and strong grip. Just real quick, a weak grip is one where you're going to see no real knuckles on your left hand. Your hand's more straight up. Strong grip with your left hand is going to be more knuckles here. A neutral grip is going to be one where you see about 2 knuckles with your glove hand, and that V is pointing at your right ear. Same thing with your right hand. As a right-handed golfer, that V is pointing at your right ear. For a weak grip with your opposite hand, your right hand is going to be more on top. You're seeing more knuckles. Strong grip with your right hand, your non-glove hand, is one where you see more palms. I spent, I think, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes on that earlier. Sorry if you missed that, but I don't want to bore the people that actually saw that. But you can go back and watch this. This will be taped. You can go back and watch. So the last question is, who's my pick this week? Last Friday, I put $100 on FanDuel for Jordan Spieth. You know, if he wins, $1,300. You know, and then he won on Sunday, and obviously I was like, let's go. Jordan Spieth is my second favorite golfer behind Tiger. I'm friends with his caddy, Michael Greller. Great people. So good to see him back playing well. But I also think DeChambeau, you know, there was a lot of kind of talk around him last year. All that talk has died out, and actually everyone's going to be talking about Jordan Spieth. So Jordan's going to have all the pressure. I think Bryson has a chance. Okay, he's been playing some great golf this year, hits the ball really far, and he's kind of flying in a little bit under the radar thanks to Jordan Spieth winning. Watch out for him. Then we talked about it. People that hit draws. Charlie Hoffman always does well at the Masters, and he played so well last week in Houston or in Texas. And so I think the Hoffinator, Charlie Hoffman, has a chance. So for those of you out there looking for a value pick, he's probably got some pretty good odds. It might be worth slapping some dollars down, and make sure that you're playing our Masters pool that are only for premium subscribers for your chance to win a driver. It doesn't cost you guys anything else. So make sure you do that. But the Hoffinator's got a chance. You know, and I think, definitely, I think Chris just put the poll to the Masters pool in the chat. So guys, go over and check that out. But those are my picks: Spieth, DeChambeau, Charlie Hoffman, and hopefully one of those guys win. So guys, thanks for joining us. My name is Josh Kelly. You can check out my YouTube channel, Josh Kelly Golf, if you like. Check me out on Instagram, Hole-in-One Trick Shots. I'm actually giving this golf bag away on my Instagram right now, this Callaway golf bag and these head covers. So if you guys want a chance to win that, check out my Instagram, Hole-in-One Trick Shots. I hope you enjoyed this tonight. We talked about hooks. We talked about hitting a draw. This is our week 6. If you haven't already, go check out our other weeks. We did 5 weeks where we covered drivers, irons, wedges, putter, fairway woods, hybrids. And, you know, we're doing this every Monday. So if you enjoyed this, stop by and check us out next Monday. Okay? Someone asked, what can I do to help stop hitting the irons fat? We kind of did away with our Q&A this week, but we will cover that. We'll cover that next week. So tune in next Monday. So thanks again so much, guys, for watching. We really appreciate that. Again, this is just a hangout. We're talking about golf. We're learning more. We're expanding our knowledge, and hopefully play better golf and have more fun this summer out on the course. And this is just another added benefit to SwingU Premium. We're trying to give you guys as many benefits as we possibly can. We really, really appreciate your business here at SwingU, and we're hoping to just make you guys the best golfers you possibly can. That's why we're giving you as many features like Versus, just like shot tracking, you know, handicaps, GPS, so on and so forth. So SwingU Live instruction with myself, Josh Kelly, is just another added benefit. We're here every Monday night. Stop by next week to see us. Thanks so much again for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. And enjoy the Masters. And go Jordan Spieth. I'd be a lot richer, so hopefully that happens.